What's up, guys? It's Brandon here from The Refined Investor, where we talk about everything from business, investing, and of course, passive income. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Brandon. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found the content useful, and of course, subscribe if you want to see future content like this. All right, so my channel is, a little bit of investing, a little bit of financial freedom, a little bit of business, credit cards, just really anything to do with financial literacy and money. So today I want to talk about 5 things to look for when trying to start a brand. In today's day and age with, people working from home, people trying to come up with new business ideas, I just think that this is an appropriate topic because not all brands are created equal. Some things, on the other hand, won't let you scale and build up enough, and then other things you can kind of get too ahead of yourself. So there's a good happy medium. So today I'm going to talk about 5 things to look for when starting a brand. All right, the first thing to look for when you're trying to start a brand, build a business, is finding a niche where you can build out an entire product line. And let's take artificial plants, for example. That's a great niche, right, to be in. Depending on where you're selling, it can be crowded in certain spaces, but for this example, let's say you start out, selling a faux fern, right? Well, that's great. If you have say you have a faux fern, well, what else can you sell? Well, someone who bought a faux fern might want, some artificial succulents, and someone who wants artificial succulents might want a variety of different artificial succulents. And someone who wants a variety of artificial succulents might want their own large pot to put all these different succulents in, right? And then someone who has that whole pot of succulents might want something to lift it up off the ground to make it look better, right? So you can get a plant stand. So this is what I mean by being able to build out a product line. You always want to start a business and be in a niche and build a brand where you can build out and sort of, the sky's the limit. It's never really good to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to be a one SKU brand. You want to be able to build out multiple levels of product for that brand so you can obviously scale and make much more money. This really leads kind of hand in hand into my second point. You want to be able to upsell, right? So what I mean by that is, I'll use the same example. You sell a whole bunch of different little succulents, right? And you also sell different pots. So people who buy the different succulents, you can upsell them, whether it's in ads or on your website or in email marketing. You can upsell them different things for the the succulents that they just bought. You can upsell them different pots. You can upsell them different plant stands. You can upsell them different types of plants. So this is what I mean. Being able to build out a product line, so therefore you can upsell people and make sure that your average order value is really as high as you can get it. Number 3 is a big one. I've come across this before with people I know, and that is build a brand where you're allowed to run digital advertising in that space. So, for example, tobacco, marijuana. These are things that you're not allowed to advertise, at least right now in 2021. You're not allowed to advertise these things on the big social networks or Google, right? And let's face it, that's where most paid traffic is really coming from. So that just builds a big wall on how many people you can reach and therefore how much money you can make. If you're not able to digitally advertise, you can obviously still do print, but again, it's not really trackable. So definitely getting into a space and building a brand in a niche where you can actually run digital ads is a huge thing, not just for building up your brand from nothing, but being able to completely scale it in the future. The fourth thing that you should really consider when you're starting to build a brand is being able to find a targetable audience, right? So you want to be able to find an audience that's not too broad. So you're not spending a ton of money on people who aren't interested, but then also you don't want to build into a brand where the audience pool is like very, very, very small. So, there's not enough people who even want to buy your product. Being able to really target a nice size but still niche audience is huge. It'll do wonders for your advertising efforts. Really, one of the worst things that you can do is pick a niche and build a brand around an audience that's so small that it never really lets you scale, and it's just too compact to really be able to build out a product line, be able to upsell people, and be able to scale. And finally, the fifth thing to look for when you're starting to build a brand is the ability to get repeat customers. So MRR, or monthly recurring revenue. So we all know of subscription-based services like Netflix, Hulu, all these different subscription-based services. These companies are charging your credit card each and every month. They're bringing in monthly recurring revenue. So in a sense, what they're doing is getting return customers each and every month. If you don't have really one of the first things we talked about, which was the ability to build out a product line, you're not ever going to have returning customers. You're not going to be able to get that monthly recurring revenue because you only have one SKU. There's nothing to ever sell the person again, unless of course, your item gets lost or stolen or, breaks. So being able to basically link that back to the first point is building out a product line. You need to be able to build out a product line to have repeat customers. Now, a great example of repeat customers is Apple. Let's just use, the big company Apple for this example. Say you go and buy, a cell phone, right? An iPhone. And then you're like, okay, well, I want something to listen to music with. So then you go buy their AirPods. And then you're like, okay, well, now I'm starting my business. I need a computer. So I'm going to go buy a MacBook, right? And then you're like, okay, well, I need a cover for my iPhone, and I need a cover and a protective case for my MacBook. So now I'm going to buy that from Apple. So basically, that's what I'm talking about. Being able to, really get repeat customers, because the customers that you do have now from the first product they bought are so happy and satisfied with your brand that now they're willing and able to, once they see, what else you have, whether that be, again, from ads or your website or email marketing, SMS marketing, that they trust your company, they like your initial product, so they in turn want and need your other products to go with the current product that they previously bought. All right, guys, thank you for watching my video on 5 things to look for when you're trying to start a brand. I hope it was, insightful and helpful in some way. Of course, this is not the be-all, end-all, the only 5 things you have to look for, but these are 5 really good ideas and things to think about when trying or thinking about starting a brand. It'll make life, a whole lot easier. Again, let me run through the list. The ability to build out a product line, the ability to upsell people, the ability to run ads online and not be in a restricted type of niche, the ability to target a niche audience that's large enough, but not too large and not too small, online with ads. And then finally, the ability to get repeat customers. These are all things to think about that can really make or break your business. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. Of course, if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, consider subscribing. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.